Thank you, darling. All right, so we got the memo that you guys loved having Kaya on last time. So thank you for the feedback. Thank you for letting us know how you feel about it. We loved it too, let me tell you.
Did.
So we did, in fact, like Brookshire said, bring him back.
Yes.
So today is going to be a more intensive show. Last time was very overview of everything that he knows about neurolinguistic programming and timeline therapy. And today is going to be a little bit more specific, really getting into, you know, we started with the meat and potatoes. We're going to get a little more into that salad, a little more into the carrots, you know?
Right.
So, yeah. So definitely, you know, sit back, relax, and soak all of this in. Don't think too hard, just listen. And with no further ado, the amazing Mr. Kaya Redford.
Yes. So he is in the house. So Mr. Redford. So I just want to say to you, man, the experience that we had, of course, you came into the studio was when we really first got introduced. Thank you again, Miss Shireen. And it's like, you know, it was a relationship that was magical at first sight. It was the energy that connected. And you know, since then, you know, we have been talking and creating and making things happen. So how has the experience been for you, just really quick, since putting that show out? What kind of response have you gotten since then, and how has that moved you to the next level?
It's really been powerful just to know the love that's out there, the yearning that's out there for this information. I think all of us are on the verge of just doing the most amazing thing in 2012.
Wow.
And we've had our whole life building this muscle.
Yes.
Building this muscle to prepare us for the moment, and the moment is now.
Yes.
And so now what we're doing is we're bringing tools, again, the tools and the strategies for each and every one of us to be able to take what we have, what our gifts and talents are that we already have,
right,
and add those other things, those other intangible qualities to that, so that we can really have exponential growth. My goal for this is for each and every person to meet their income goal for this year.
That's what's up.
We don't need no lack and limitation. Okay, we need everybody on this show who watches this to take these tools and go out there and make a lot of money. Not just for selfish reasons. We're talking about making it for yourself, for your family, for your kids, for the people that are in your life, so that you can even birth the philanthropic part of you, the part of you that wants to help your community. I think one of the most important things you can do is to create success within yourself first.
That's awesome.
And then have that success create a ripple effect to the people around you. So my first and foremost goal with this is for you to create abundance. The second goal is for you to create happiness. Okay. Happiness can come at the same time as abundance, even before abundance. Happiness, abundance, helping other people out, and just creating a life that is everything you dreamed possible. When you were 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years old, you had a dream. Everything that you dreamed, maybe you were watching it at television, you're watching a movie, and you had this dream of this dream life. That life was in your mind as a dream because it's your potential.
Yes.
And I actually don't even really like to use the word potential because most people, unfortunately, potential is something that people don't tap into as much.
That's right.
I'd rather you think about it as your reality.
Okay.
Your reality is right here, right now. So we want to go and add some even more powerful tools and have you create with these tools the life that you want. When? Right now.
Right now.
Yes.
So, and getting into that right now, we're going to take us straight into what we came here for. And our first topic, which is going to be part 1, everyone, our first topic is going to be cause and effect. Now, cause and effect, everybody knows that nothing just happens without something else. Everything has an opposite reaction towards it. You know, seed time, harvest, you hear these things all the time, even with biblical principles. So in your opinion, let's break down how cause and effect really works from a person that, let's say, that has an issue and that wants to get, you know, money. They're broke right now. They want to get to that, let's say, $50,000 goal, or just that goal to where their bills or necessities are paid, and they may have stinking thinking. How does cause and effect, how is that affecting their thinking right now, and how do they get to a better resource? How does this cause and effect work in your opinion?
I'd like to start off, if I could, with a gentleman from New York. Who he'd been mugged 8 times in 6 months.
Wow.
And you think, you know, when you look at something like that, we look at something outside of us that's happening to us, that's being done to us. The economy is doing this to me.
Right.
This gentleman had that experience, and it just occurred to him that something was off. You know, why would one person get mugged so many times in such a short period of time? We'd like to say we need more police. So we'd like to say we need more things, you know, we need to make some changes in our society. We need to do something outside of us. But he had an inkling that there was something going on. And what he discovered is, and what cause and effect is teaching us, is that at some point, where we are today is the sum of all of our conscious and our unconscious decisions. So all of the conscious decisions and choices, and all of our unconscious, the ones that you're not conscious of, your unconscious choices and decisions put you where you are at today. So here's the thing. It would be great to say, I'm a victim of economy. I'm a victim of the fact that, you know, the economy is where it's at. The reality is, if we do that, we're pushing the cause outside of us. We're pushing the cause outside of us and blaming. Remember what I said in the first segment. I was blaming, I was denying, I was minimizing, justifying. Okay, I was putting the cause. I was saying it's your fault that I'm in this situation. It's your fault. And what's happening is we're missing the key. The key is this. The cause is wanting to come in. The cause is wanting to come from this outside world in front of us, come in to us so that we can receive that we are at the cause. Because if we don't receive that we are at the cause of our life experience, what we're doing is we're disempowering us, ourselves. What we're doing is we're saying, I have no freaking power to change the situation. If I have no power to change the situation, I'm disempowered, and I'm going to continue to have a life that's of a struggle. So cause is wanting to come in. And instead of looking at it as a negative, look at it as a positive. The cause is a gift and a learning that is wanting to come in because it wants you to grow. It wants you to evolve and wants you to grow. It wants you to take that outward experience and say to you, what is it about me? What is it about my choices and decisions, conscious or even the ones I'm unconscious of, I'm not even aware of, that is putting me where I'm at today? Because when I recognize what those are, I can create the change. I can unchoose what I chose. What the gentleman discovered was that at some point in his life, he chose to, at some point in his life, he made it okay for him to be the victim. I'll just put it like that. You know, my father, I mentioned my father in the last segment. My father, we grew up in Europe many years. My father got mugged several times. Again, he was a genius, but he would walk around, maybe you know someone like this, they walk around not really watching their surroundings. He would walk around almost clueless. He would be the gentleman that would walk into an airport. And I love my dad, just, you know, just, I love my dad, but just some of it, you know, he would walk into an airport, he would sit his briefcase down, and he would be speaking to the attendant. He would leave all of his luggage just there and with just no peripheral vision. And what would happen? Someone would always steal his briefcase, someone would always steal his pens, his things. And he had a bad experience in London where he was mugged. And what I've learned from that is that at some point, I'm not saying this, I want to make sure you understand this. I'm not saying that every single bad thing that happened in your life, you chose it. I'm not saying that everything, whether if you're financially struggling, I'm not saying that you caused every bad thing. What I'm saying is the sum. The sum of all of your conscious and your unconscious choices and decisions have put you where you are today. Let that soak in, because it has a gift for you, and this is the most beautiful thing, it has a huge gift and a huge learning for you. When you allow that to soak in, you can now unchoose the reality that you've created, and you can create a new reality. When we worked with a gentleman utilizing timeline therapy, as I described it to you, he unchose it. He said, that's not going to be the me anymore, because he has tons of people who have never been mugged in New York. Half of his friends have never been mugged in New York. So why him? Why you? Why you? Why you? So when he unchose it, from then until now, there's been no report of any experience like that again. So I present to you, your cause is greater than your effect. How many people in your life right now, all of us as an audience members, how many people in your life are living on the effect side of the equation instead of the cause side?
Yes, a lot.
In finances, I'm at the effect side. In relationships, how many of you or how many people that you know are living on that side of the equation? And when is now the time, okay, for all of us, even holding each other accountable? That's something I work on also every day. We're all in this human experience together. Not one person, just because I have this expertise, and it's the gift that I'm sharing in the world, I'm not better than any single person that's watching this show.
Right.
We all have to remind ourselves that our cause is greater than our effect, and invite that in and unchoose what we've chosen that has not served us and choose a new reality and create it.
Now, let me,
So,
go ahead.
okay, so let's say hypothetically I'm with you and I'm like, yes, I buy it, I believe it, I want to unchoose it.
Right.
How do I unchoose it?
How do you unchoose it?
So what you do is you go back. So in this case, we'd have to go with what is a specific thing. What is a specific thing for the audience? Shireen does this as an audience member. Also for you, as you're watching the show, what is a specific thing that has showed up as a stress or a struggle for you in your life? That's the effect.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, how do I now step onto the cause side of the equation and say, what was the decision I made that made it okay for that to be my experience? When did I make that decision? And what we typically find, getting back to the imprint stage, we get to find that a lot of our makeup, a lot of our thought processes start from the imprint stage, from 0 to 7, 8 years old.
Right.
So a lot of those things have been made in the mind of a child. Now, if you have made that decision a long time ago in the mind of a child, we can say that you can change the decision right now.
Right.
You can change the decision. Now, timeline, which we're going to get to, is a very simple technique that organizes the process of changing that decision. You might be sitting at home and thinking, well, how do I change this decision? You know, and also you want to change it at the unconscious level. So we have a tool and a technique that I'm going to be sharing as we continue through this program. And really it's about, these tools are things that we want to give to you to empower you. So you're going to be learning a technique to change that at the unconscious level. But before you can change it, you need to own it.
Own it. So,
and recognize it.
So this is my thing, even going back, it's like, how does a person, if it happened at that unconscious level at 0 to 7, how do you even know that that is the thief that is stealing your joy? How do you know? Okay,
so what we always say is this: trust your unconscious mind. I may go into it a little bit. I believe that we've had a conversation about what the unconscious mind is.
Right.
It's the mind that you're not conscious of at this moment.
Right.
There's a part of you. There's a part of you right now that feels, that's listening to my voice, right? But up until listening to my voice and me bringing your awareness to it, you might not have been feeling yourself sitting in that chair. You might not be feeling just yet your feet on the ground, but as I bring you to an awareness of it, you're always feeling it. You're just not conscious of it. So what we're doing is, what we talked about is we're creating a connection between our conscious and our unconscious. We're creating that connection. When you have rapport, when you have a alignment, when you have an understanding with your unconscious, you're going to trust it. When your unconscious says, you know, it has to do with when I was 5. You know, I had a gentleman who had a really hard time making money and sustaining it. And he had this story of, I feel stupid, I feel stupid, I feel stupid. When I asked him, trust your unconscious mind, when did you decide you were stupid? And he paused for a moment. Something came up. And I said, what is it? He said, I don't know. I'm just thinking about when I went outside. I was 5 years old and I went outside and I wanted to get, attention from my dad, and my dad was mowing the lawn, and I wanted to hang out with my dad and, connect with him, and, whatever a child's thinking. And the child is asking to hold the bar of the lawnmower and just, with dad right there, push it and just have, do a grown-up thing with dad.
Right.
And what happens, of course, is dad turns around, thinking, okay, you got this. Just make sure you go in a straight line. Make sure you go in a straight line, he tells his son. And his dad, moves off to get a shovel to do something with the roses. And he says, make sure you do this straight line. And then this kid looks back at his dad. He says, Dad, watch me. I'm going in a straight line. I'm going in a straight line. And, of course, the lawnmower goes right into the rose bushes and whacks off the roses. The father not knowing, because
Wow.
our parents are not knowing half the time what's happening, what we're doing. The father flips out and says,
Oh, wow.
you can finish the sentence. So a
Spread seed in there.
highly emotional event.
Right.
Until this gentleman was able to unchoose that he wore that in that moment, that I'm stupid, and that he didn't have to live the rest of his life experiencing being stupid. When he was able to unchoose that, his income skyrocketed immediately. His purpose, everything, his relationships, everything flourished because he shed the identity of that old thought. Make sense?
It makes so much sense, and that just brings us back to the importance of you and people like you and life coaches and mentors, because you were able to help him, because on the subconscious level, he's moving along thinking, why is this happening? But I'm busting my ass, basically, I'm running after it, I'm going after it, but it's just not happening. People have it all the time. I get money, and it's gone. I get it, but they don't realize how deep it is until someone like you says, well, ask those certain questions that make them prone and say, I didn't see it that way. And so I just wanted to, just a little sidebar, throwing in the importance of you bringing that back up in the cause and effect situation. But you were getting ready to say something on that.
I just wanted to share, because some of us, in the audience and as you're watching this video, some of us have this experience where life is showing up as a roller coaster. His life was showing up as a roller coaster. He would make some money just at that point where he could really own that he was successful and he was great. Then he would self-sabotage. Because that was the thing. So what happens is some of the things that have happened put us in a position, we still operate, we still function, and we still have some levels of success.
Right.
We still have some levels of success financially and in relationships, but do we go all the way? Do we go all the way? And if we don't go all the way, and if life is showing up as an up and down roller coaster financially in relationships, the question is, how am I at the cause of that, and how can I unchoose it? How can I create something different?
I want to throw a little fun into the pot right now.
Yes.
One other thing that I love about this idea of cause and effect is that it's essentially saying the effect that you're seeing, this bad thing that's happening or presenting. Like,
which is a gift.
That's exactly where I'm going, is I feel like it's so nice because it's really turning it into, okay, the guy who got mugged, that may have seemed like the worst, most horrible, 6 months of his life.
Right.
But the truth is, it pushed him and pushed him and pushed him to a point where whatever was inside of him that wasn't supporting him came out to evolve.
Right.
Yes.
So essentially, bad things that are happening to you, based on this premise of what you're talking about, are really gifts.
Gifts and learnings.
Yeah.
How do you take that, though? If a person has had, and they don't know that, and you're introduced to a person that has had, again, hell on wheels and everything that they've seen, because some people are born into situations that it becomes normal, and then somebody wakes them up and say, girl, that ain't normal. And then they realize it, and then now it's this pressure. How do you take that when everything around you is dysfunction and say, this is a gift? How is this a gift when all this happens?
You just
If you knew for a fact that by stepping out of the effect and stepping onto the cause side of the equation, that your life would be outstandingly better, would you receive it? Look at sports figures. Look at, I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. Kobe Bryant fan. I'm a fan of all sports, all players. But look at some of the trials and tribulations those players had early days when they were, at some certain times people would say they were hogging the ball, they were keeping the ball, they weren't team players. They got eliminated in the championship games. And when the leader emerged, when the leader took a look at, this is a team sport, this ain't about me, this is about me growing and getting all that criticism. How come you haven't won a championship? You're supposed to be the best player on the planet. How come you haven't won a championship yet? And when the leader brings himself to cause and says, how can I use this experience of losing? How can I use this as come to cause and make a new decision of how I'm going to lead to produce a better result? What happens? They win championships. They win a three-peat. They become legends. All the top leaders, Oprah, the same thing. Oprah has achieved so many great things because she gathered her gifts and she gathered her learnings. And I'm sure she's even gathering new gifts and gathering new learnings. And we're watching her with humility, knowing that, we're all on this earth in the process of learning and growing. And that's what it's about.
I disagree. Go ahead.
Another little juicy thought on that note is that
I'm loving this.
Is that not only is it a gift, but if you do not receive the gift and come at cause, you will not stop getting the gift. It's almost like it's like, dude, you better freaking take a look, because if you don't, for the next 6 months, you're gonna get mugged again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of a nice little sense of urgency.
I almost feel like I don't even need to expound on that, because we had this conversation the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And that is, if you don't get yourself at cause, what you're going to do is you're going to continuously attract the people, places, and things to give you that same frustration, that same anger, that same sentiment, because what it is if you want to call it the universe is constantly giving you a mirror to show you what needs to evolve in you. So it will give you a mirror through people that frustrate you until you get over that issue that is the resistance. So the gift is trust your heart.
Trust your heart. Now, I'm going to go on to something with trusting your heart, because not necessarily there, but I'm going to write that down because I want to come back to that.
Yes.
But this is something I want to talk about. And because you have a world, let's say, for instance, you have over 2 billion people in this world that believe that they're Christians and that they're in the spiritual thought process or more. So now you have a lot of people that believe in generational curses and that, enemy attacks and that certain things, demonic forces that are on people when their minds get to darkness. Now, when you have a generational curse or a cause and effect situation, what do you say to that person that is in that way of thinking? How do you get them to understand that when they, they're doing the best that they can, they're trying, but there is a force that continues to come, these gifts, let's say, are coming stronger than others?
I worked with a very powerful individual in our local community, and there has been a sentiment that the family's cursed by cancer. We can get back to that, that all the generations, say 4 generations in the past up until his lifetime now, everybody's died, or many have died in way before their time. And so you look at that and you say, okay, well, your belief that you think you have that's based on your lifetime and only your lifetime is not necessarily your belief. It's been handed down to you. We know this. We know this. We know this. You know this.
Right.
You know that your parents, your teachers, your community, your circle of influence, all the people's thoughts and beliefs that you surround yourself with from an early age on in life shapes and molds you, and we end up adopting other people's beliefs. In his case, he ended up adopting a belief that that our family's cursed, that, we die early. So when I worked with him, what we did is we did the timeline, and he actually, in rare instances, you have to go to someone before you were born. It may be a little weird, but you have to go to you have to go beyond, further past before you were born. In this case, if the family history in the last 4 generations is believed that we're cursed through a cancer, if you want to remove the root cause, that belief that I am at any moment going to die of cancer, where do you think you go to?
You go to the root.
You go to the root, and if the root started like 5 generations ago, where do you think you go to?
So what if they're dead?
You're not visiting dead people, by the way.
Like, what do I do?
You're not visiting dead people.
Hello?
You're not visiting dead people, but you're visiting your perception of that time, and the time when you allowed that to become something that you accepted as truth. You're visiting how you accepted that time, that generational belief as truth. So when you do that, you're taking into consideration thought patterns that were around before you're born. To get a little weird, some people believe you chose who your parents were. Some people believe we're not just a victim of I showed up in this world when I showed up, and that's just how it went down. Some people believe, and whether you believe that or whether you don't, it's okay, but whatever your belief is, the question remains, is the belief something that is empowering you, or is it something that's disempowering you?
Right.
If you have to go within your lifetime to shed it through timeline therapy and N.L.P, with the stuff we do it in your lifetime. If you happen to believe that it's something that is generational or it's in a past lifetime, whatever that belief is for you, shed it.
You know what? I got 2 more questions before we wrap up this
Yes.
first segment, and then Ms. Serene has something else to throw in there. And then my next one is, you were saying that we're going back to the trust your heart. Now, again, I know I mentioned it before, and maybe you've reiterated, and maybe you can reiterate on it. But again, when you have someone that has a lot of trash in their heart, garbage in, garbage out, how do you comfortably tell that person trust yourself when they have and they've created all kind of hell because of all the stuff that they brung into them? How does one trust themselves when they don't have anything in there?
Great. Well, when you say when they have nothing in there, that sort of presupposes they don't have anything in there.
Well,
so,
if they
but
feel
they
they don't.
If they feel they don't. So what I would ask you right now.
Correct.
No, great point. Great point. What I would ask you right now is, when have you trusted yourself? And when has that paid huge dividends? I want you to think, with Brookshire's question, I want you to think of this question. When have you trusted yourself and you were right about trusting your capability? Remember a time when you tapped into you and did something that even surprised you. You accomplished something. You got an accolade. You had your biggest month. You created a great something in your life. Think about that time now. And have a relationship, one in which you trust on your true capabilities, not trusting in how things have gone wrong. Because how things have gone wrong goes back to the same thing. You're going into buying into the effect.
Yeah.
The story.
You're buying into the effect. If you're buying into the effect of things that have gone wrong, you're not trusting yourself.
Yeah.
You were brought to this earth for a reason.
Yeah.
To succeed. There's a reason why no matter what happens, a child gets up, walks, and goes. And I remember times when I would be searching for that cookie, and I used to like tangerines, and they used to put the tangerines up above the refrigerator because I would love them so much that I would even eat too many, I would get a breakout. As a 2, 3, 4-year-old, I don't even remember how old, I would put a chair, I would stand up, I would try to get at the top of that refrigerator. I would see no fear. I would go after what I want.
Right.
Know that that is the unstoppable creator that you were born to be, and shed the other story that you're anything other than that. Shed the other thing and realize the truth.
The truth.
And watch people like Oprah that are living the truth, and also realize you're also living your truth when you choose to.
And what is that truth in your opinion as a core, like as a core belief? What is a good truth? If someone doesn't have a truth to go by, what would you say if you were helping someone that is a truth that's worthwhile to hold on to?
That's almost like an intangible. For me, I feel the love in my heart for what I do. I feel the love for everybody that's watching the show. What do you love? What do you truly love, that in the space of that love, everything else doesn't even matter and it just disappears? Tap into the true you, the you that knows what you're here to do and what you're here for, and that knows that when you tap into that part of you, as you're tapping into it now, even more now, you know what that is, don't you?
Are you asking me a question?
It's the feeling.
Oh.
Yeah, and I want to
It's
just...
that feeling. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking. It's that
Yeah.
feeling, that knowing. How do you put a logical, conceptual understanding to something that is a feeling? It's a feeling. So we're trying to process it through here, but it's that knowing. You know you're here to do something incredible with your life.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Live that. Focus on it.
I want to jump in here too, because the question was kind of like, if somebody doesn't have their own truth, like kind of like, what do they do there?
Right.
And my thought is this: I don't feel anyone doesn't have their own truth. Really, honestly, I think everyone, unconscious, whatever you want to call it, knows who they are, has that feeling inside, can remember a time when they were just pure something.
Right.
So there's that. That's my first thought when I think about that question. Second thought is that a lot of the time, like whatever you come into contact with that you feel is like, yes. So like, let's say like me, like I encountered Kai and I was like, yes. Like the stuff that this guy's talking about is in alignment with me. Not because he's outside of me and I didn't have my own truth and, oh, I'm going to go cling to this guy. No, because it already was my truth. And now there's something that's coming into my peripheral that is helping me be more loud on the inside. You know what I mean? Like it's helping my truth resonate more, and so I gravitate towards it.
Right, right.
So I feel everyone already has their own truth. without a doubt. It may be muddled and covered by all this stuff. That's definitely possible and probable with the way things are. Right? Thank you, Mr. N.L.P.
Used to be true.
But then I also feel like, for me, you know, just to get personal here, I, you know, went to a basic seminar and I was 24 years old. And up until that point, I think, to be quite honest, I was living kind of like how Kaya talked about in the first segment. I was really just not awake in my life. I just was totally at the effect, like, whatever, I'm supposed to do this, I'm supposed to be this, I'm just, I want to do entertainment, but nobody thinks that's legit, so forget me, forget what I want, forget it. So I was very much like just going through the motions. I got my degree, was working my first job, and just felt disenchanted with life completely. And then I went to this seminar. And when I went to this, first of all, I didn't even want to go. I was like super in resistance. I was like, I want my money back. I'm way overpaid. And they were like, you can't have your money back until you go through the thing. And then if you still feel like you want your money back, then we can give it to you. I was like, fine. So I went, and at the end, like, dear God, I mean, if there's ever like a moment where I just was, it changed me. It was like whatever was happening with me from birth up till 24 that had me living not awake. Just got ripped open. And I swear I came alive in a way like I never have. My life has never been the same. I just started going crazy on every personal growth. I just became a personal growth junkie, okay? I got coached. I became a coach. I just made it my whole thing. And it's not because I didn't have the truth from 0 to 24. I had it. I just wasn't listening. You know? I just was not in tune. So
and not getting your money back helped you to get in the position to get in tune. So let me throw out to you, Kaya. How important is the I am factor to cause and effect to a person? How, the I am factor, when you utilize those words, how important in the growth? Because I mean, you can feel I am whatever this could be. So how important is those words using in the cause and the effect, the I am factor?
It's huge. It starts with I am. I am the cause. I am the creator of my experience of reality. So repeat after me. I am, you are, we are the creators of our experience of reality. And that's it. It all starts with I am. Because if it's not I am, who is it? And what does that do? And what do you get? You don't get, you know, so it's breathing that. I am is equal to cause.
I am is equal to cause. So as we're wrapping this up in this first second, I want to go into, of course, what we know for sure and what you know for sure. So if there is something that you would be able to throw in for what you know for sure on cause and effect before we go into part 2, which is perception and projection. What would it be? What
I know for sure is that you can double or triple your income in the next 30 to 60 days.
How?
What I know for sure is also that you can improve your relationship from wherever it's at, quantum leap it to wherever you want it to be instantly. What I know for sure is that you can lose 50 pounds or 20 pounds instantly within a matter of short period of time when you put your mind to it and you eat the right things and you exercise. What I know for sure is that I hold the space that whatever you want for 2012, you can have the minute you choose.
The minute you choose. The minute you choose. Everybody, that was our first part 1. We're going to be taking you into a quick commercial plug. Again, I'm your host, Brookshire, here with Miss Shireen and Kaya Redford, of course, on the Oprah Recap Show, where it's all about living your best life. We're talking about right now. We just hit on the topic cause and effect, and we're going to be taking you to some more meat and the potatoes and all those other good things that we talk about. You know, I like to eat. Been cooking since I was 4, so when you see it come out, I'm hungry now. But anyway, but yes, so we're going to be taking you straight into a TV commercial plug. Again, you can definitely check us out for more of the recaps on Love 923. That's LOV, no E, LOV 923.com. LOV 923. It's like an E with it. LOV923.com for all the recaps as well. And we are definitely here on AfterBuzzTV.com. And also make sure you're checking out Kai Redford. Kai Redford, tell me the website one more time.
Kaya Redford. Coaching.com.
KayaRedfordCoaching.com. So you can definitely hit him up directly on KayaRedfordCoaching.com, and then definitely check him out again on the Kaya Redford Experience, because we're going to be bringing you some amazing, amazing things over the next 9 months to a year that's going to change you step by step. We're going to take you on that journey step by step. We're going to be here for you. Now you have a team.
Yes.
I love technology. Okay, so we're going straight into that commercial plug, TV commercial plug, and we'll be right back on. Peace.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?